take a hike. You can scram, Buster. Get out of town, okay?
Not gonna lie, I'll fucking quit. I'll report your ass. I'll quit. I would quit.
Like, if this was me, if I was Michael, that would show loud and clear Jack doesn't give a fuck about me. This little
He
vermin
don't.
is not a friend at all. He's a little content ghoul, a little goblin.
He's a clout chaser. He's a fucking clout chaser and shit.
Knew Jack Doherty was pathetic, but I had no idea he was this pitiful that this is considered content to him. Like, how can you possibly have so little shame? You just totaled your car with video evidence of you staring at your phone for most of your driving. And this car, like, fucking exploded like Humpty Dumpty here. The way you'll see his car
It exploded like Humpty Dumpty. No, it folded like a computer, a broken computer at that.
fully in a moment, it looks like when you drive backwards in a NASCAR game in the early 2000s. Like, he did a number on it, completely totaled it. It is a miracle that neither one of them are in a coffin right now. And instead of doing the sensible thing of stopping the stream and getting medical care to your friend who clearly needs it, he instead doubles down and wants even more footage of it, even though he looks like the biggest fucking idiot on the planet for this. An unlovable, unlikable, irredeemable loser.
Welcome to the Supermarket Prop Hunt. Recommend and favorite it to support.
I want to bid 100. Thank you. Get down there immediately. Jesus Christ, you know how damn OP that spot was? I think it's down here. Yeah, it's down here. Ah, shit. Oh no! Oh no! Weave. I'm Weave Nation certified. That is Juka! No, it didn't. Weave Nation certified. Weave. I'm too fast for y'all. I'm too fused. Oh shit. Bro. Bounce. Nice. Okay. Now I'm getting used to controls. Oh. Oh my gosh. Missed the checkpoint. I missed the checkpoint. Again. Is there a damn respawn button? There is.
I bought a bookshelf on Gumtree recently. It was an amazing experience. I'll quickly tell you about it and then I'll read the book. But I found it strange because it made me start to think about the way like our methods of communication have sort of changed over the years. You know, in the old days, if you wanted a bookshelf, you'd just go see Gareth the bookshelf guy because he was the dude in your tribe that made the bookshelves. He had a little bookshelf cave. He was reputable. Now any mad bastard can sell their shit on Gumtree. You know what I mean? As a species, we're sort of able to cope with knowing and gossiping about around like 100 or 150 people. That's like the limit of our tribe. Any more than that, it starts to get confusing, which is why we created abstract constructs like territories and deities to unite larger groups of people under an imaginary common factor. And it works a treat because we only really gather en masse on special occasions.
Wow, this man's He's actually spitting some facts. He actually spitting some facts.
But I think like social media and it's fucking all that up. I don't think we're able to deal with the thousands of people we're connected to on a daily basis, and as a result, we neglect our immediate 150. That's why I never get invited to parties anymore. It's not because I ramble on about veganism and fisting old ladies. It's because I'm not on Facebook and everybody just assumes you are. I am so behind on the births, deaths, and marriages of my friends that I feel like the time traveler's wife every time I go to a party. I'm like, this is Tim, he's our son, he's 6 now. Fucking didn't even know you were pregnant. Anyway, and smartphones aren't that great. You know that, right? They're not that great. You don't need the internet in your pocket. You work at Coles, okay? You're not working for the president. You don't need it. You don't need that much information. And also, what was the point of developing opposable thumbs for you to take a photo of your head, post it on the internet, and then just stand by for validation?
Stand by for validation, take head ass.
No one gives a fuck about your head. They'll only validate it in order to gain permission to post a photo of their own head on the internet and stand by for validation. The people who give a fuck about your head will at some point see it in real life. Fuck your head and the neck it rode in on. Your vanity is sucking up my bandwidth. Anyway, this is what's going through my head as I'm on Gumtree looking for a bookshelf, because when you put something in the search in Booktree, what the fuck? When you put something in the search on Gumtree, I'm having a stroke up here. When you put something in the search, right, and there's always a couple of things that come up in the list that are like the polar opposite of what you search for. I'm like,
that happens to me.
Get out of my head, Gumtree algorithms, conspiracy. No, but seriously, you type it's like bookshelf, and it's like bookshelf, gramophone.
What's a gramophone?
Bookshelf, combine harvester. What the fuck?
Combine harvester.
That's actually a pretty good price. Anyway, on this particular day, I found 2 bookshelves that worked for me in terms of cost and, more importantly, geographical convenience, because I'd be fucked if I'm driving to Broadmeadows to pick up a bookshelf, right? So I type in bookshelf and I see the 2 things and I'm like, okay, one seller is Kathy, the other is Morgan. I send them both the same text message. Hello, I saw your bookshelf on Gumtree. Is it still available? Kathy texts back straight away saying, sorry, it went this morning.
What's with that voice? Sorry, with this morning.
That's cool, Kathy. I'm sorry I gave you an annoying voice in the retelling of this story. Morgan's response came through a couple of minutes later and simply read, it was my wife's bookshelf.
How can you respond to that?
How do you respond to that? Aside from the fact that it doesn't answer my fucking question, his use of past tense in that sentence unnerved me slightly. I'm like, I should probably just find another bookshelf. And then I noticed he lived in the suburb next to me, so I replied, is it still available? He responded with the letter Y. Just a Y? Is he asking me why I want to know if it's still available? Or is it a Y for yes, and he's so in the throes of grief that he can't manage the E and the S? I assume it's a Y for yes, so I respond, cool, I'll take it. When's a good time to come and pick it up? No reply for 15 minutes. I'm like, oh, he's forgotten about me. Fuck it, I'll find another bookshelf. And then when his reply actually does come through, I realise he spent those 15 minutes crafting his response because it's a fucking thesis. He must have felt so bad about only using a single consonant in his previous text that he just massively overcompensated with this one. Also, for some reason, felt that the use of punctuation entirely unnecessary. So it's just one obscenely long sentence which reads, you must come and pick up now. I only have short time here at house and also it wide. So bring van or trailer and there stair. But I can help you carry downstairs. If you come park out front, walk up past ring bell and I will help you carry it to trailer or van. I only accept cash. And if you do not come now, I will sell it someone else. Again, I'm thinking, I should just find another bookshelf at this point. But now I am fascinated by Morgan, and I simply must meet the man. So I drive over to his house. Oh, before I left, I sent him a message saying, cool, I'll be there in 10 minutes. He replied, okay, but spelled it O-K-A-Y, which just fascinated me more that he'll use 4 letters to spell a 2-letter word, but only 1 letter to spell a 3-letter word. Morgan is off the fucking chain!
Yeah.
And as I'm driving over to his house, I'm trying to picture what he's going to be like, you know. His pidgin English might suggest ethnicity of some sort, but I don't want to racially profile him. Maybe he's an old man who recently lost his wife and is not that very good at texting. Or maybe, and I'm really hoping this is the case, Morgan is just batshit crazy. So I get to his house and I go up to I park out front, walk up the path, ring bell, and I brace myself for the door to be opened by like an old man in a smoking jacket, wearing fishnet stockings and suspenders, just puffing on an opium pipe, while a butler just creepily polishes a goldfish in the background. And then a tiny pug dog wearing a fez hat just trots up the hallway, sits on the mat, looks up at me and says, welcome to our lovely room. And then the door opens and I am thoroughly disappointed. Before me stands an average Caucasian male in his mid-30s, dressed casually, hipster chic, stubble, glasses with designer frames, expensive watch. I immediately think architect, but the house is too cheesy for that. It's like a double-story doll's house with bay windows, but definitely a designer of some kind, maybe a graphic designer. He's too skinny for manual labour. He's too hip for the public sector. But this can't be Morgan. Because Morgan's text messages would suggest that he's not that technically savvy. And then the man standing in front of me says, hello, my name's Morgan. And the plot thickens! He invites me in, shakes my hand, closes the door, and 20 minutes later, I will be witnessing Morgan perform some of the most aggressive acts of violence I've ever seen in my life. And I will be speeding away in my car, bleeding from the face. Here's how this shit went down. I go into the house and I notice 2 things immediately. One, this is a house in the throes of renovation. Nothing too extreme, but there's like drop sheets on all the furniture, there's freshly painted walls, there's a bathtub wrapped in plastic in the hallway awaiting installation. Someone's doing some work on this house. The second thing I notice, on the way up the stairs to the second floor, on the first floor landing, is a wedding photograph featuring a very cleanly shaven Morgan with a very beautiful bride, very much in love. The photograph is very much on the floor and the glass in the frame is very much smashed. Wow. She's not dead, she's left him, and the plot thickens a bit more for Morgan. And as Morgan unceremoniously kicks the photo frame to one side on the way up the stairs, I really wanted to pry into Morgan's life and ask heaps of inappropriate questions. But he was clearly a broken man. He had this terrible air of sadness around him, so I didn't want to intrude.